that's been on my mind recently is Christmas. And for anyone that struggles with any type of eating disorder, it doesn't matter what specific eating disorder it is. I think it's anxiety provoking for anyone that struggles. It's for food and Christmas. Christmas isn't all about food, don't get me wrong. It's about family, spending time together. But obviously, especially marketing, there's a lot of food related with it. So it can be quite an anxiety provoking time. I have found that over the past 4 or 5 Christmases that food has got slightly easier, which has meant that my brain has been filled with less eating disorder thoughts and more being in the moment and just enjoying the day and the time. But unfortunately this year I am struggling a little bit more, so I have been slightly more anxious and worried about Christmas because it is coming and it's a day that you can't avoid. It happens for everyone. So I want to try and share some tips that I have found helpful over the years of how to cope with Christmas if you have an eating disorder. The first thing is, whenever I felt anxious about the actual day, and if you're having a typical Christmas dinner, I have spoken to my mum about it, depending on what stage I'm at, and that's been really helpful because it's made me feel less anxious, and we've talked about what I can cope with eating, and she's never been like judgmental. She just respects what point I'm at. We just go with that. Obviously that doesn't take away the full anxiety, but by speaking to someone that is going to be there that you feel comfortable with is massively helpful. So I would say if you've got any family or friends that you feel comfortable with speaking to, talk to them about it. And it's even more helpful if any of them people are you celebrate Christmas with, because sometimes the thoughts in your head about being anxious about the food feel slightly more manageable. You feel like if you get them off your chest, it doesn't feel as overwhelming. It doesn't take it all away, but it helps, or it's definitely helped me. If you currently have support with eating disorder, help, therapy, dietitian, any sort of support like that, definitely speak to them about it. They probably will be expecting you to talk about it because they know how anxiety provoking it is, and they might help you with tips of how to cope, skills to use. The good thing about Christmas is that there's loads of distractions, so when you look at distraction techniques to prevent your mind from wandering back to the eating disorder, there's loads to do on Christmas, and a lot of that is about spending time with family and friends, so that is a massively helpful distraction. There is, I think, Beat, the eating disorder charity, their support line doesn't change on Christmas. You can still access their support, so if you are really struggling, you can contact them. They are still going to be open. Again, they obviously know Christmas, food, eating disorders, it can be really, really difficult. So I'm pretty sure that helpline or support is still open. Another one is easier said than done, but trying to think that Christmas is only one day and you can let your eating disorder take as little or as much of that day away from you if you let it. But there are things that you can do to help. If you have like a dietitian, you might talk about what specifically you want to eat, and then if you do end up talking to someone you're going to be with at Christmas, if you feel comfortable, you can even share that. Remember that you are you, and whatever anyone else does, that's them, but you know what works best for you. You know what is going to be the most helpful. So just stick to what you initially plan to do. You might also, depending on what stage you're at, set yourself some little challenges. It might be like a specific food you want to eat at Christmas, a specific food or drink that you want to join in because you know that your family have it and you really want to be a part of that. So set yourself little goals that are manageable if you feel like you can do that. And the day is one day and then it'll be over. And I have thought quite a lot of years after the day's gone, which I have enjoyed, like, what was all that worry about? Because the worries in your head sometimes feel a lot worse than they actually are. So yeah, they're probably the tips and advice that I would suggest, and I will definitely be using them this year. I'm pretty sure that that's it. I'm sorry if this video is all over the place, but it's just been on my mind, so I thought, oh, I know that other people will be struggling, so I just wanted to share what's been helpful in the past.